The dust here tastes like the embers of time. I am Silas Vordenburg, the last of my line. While you gossip about Van Helsing in the safety of the sunlight, calling him a hero, I sit here, in this library forgotten by the world, thumbing through the journals of true hunters. This is not a story of slaughter, at least, not at first. It is a story of seduction, of traps, and of a man who was elegantly sipping souls in London high society long before Dracula was even born. His name was Lord Ruthven. It all began with an unsent letter left by my grandfather. November 1892. The London fog was thicker than usual, dense enough to mask any sin. I remember the day the servant handed me the letter. It wasn't ordinary paper. It was thick, velvety parchment, yellowed at the edges. It bore no postmark, only a faint, unsettling scent with a tuberoses mixed with the metallic tang of rust, or perhaps blood. The wax seal depicted a crest I had never seen, a heron with a broken wing, tightly entangled by a snake. I broke the seal. The handwriting was elegant yet sharp, as if carved into the paper with a scalpel.
To the esteemed grandson of Baron Vordenburg, Mr. Silas, I hear you have inherited your grandfather's manuscripts regarding the Karnstein research in Styria. I offer my deepest condolences for that tragedy years ago, and for the poor girl named Carmilla. I am hosting a private banquet at my London estate. The theme is the continuity of life and eternity. I believe the archives in your possession may complete a missing piece of my collection. Do honor us with your presence, perhaps. You will meet a friend long thought dead. Yours sincerely, Ruthven.
Ruthven. The moment I saw the name, a chill ran down my spine. My grandfather's notes mentioned him countless times, yet never explicitly equated him with a vampire. In his records, Ruthven was a phantom aristocrat. Wherever he went, young women would wither away, dying in madness. Yet, he left no bite marks. He feared no sunlight. Do not go. My eyes fell upon the black notebook on the corner of my desk, my grandfather's final warning, scrawled in red ink. But I was young, too desperate to prove I was more than just a bookworm rotting in a library. I wanted to be an expert, like him. I donned my coat and hid a silver-plated letter opener in my sleeve, a replica cast from the very stake used to pierce Carmilla's heart. I hailed the carriage. The driver gave me a strange look when he heard the address, but he snapped the reins nonetheless. The sound of hooves striking the wet London cobblestones, clack, 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 sounded like the beating of a failing heart. The carriage stopped before an ancient manor choked by ivy. There were no lights, save for two dim gas lamps flanking the entrance. The open gates looked like a gaping maw, waiting for prey to walk willingly inside. I stepped down. That was when I smelled it again, the rotting tuberoses, and underneath it, fresh blood. I took a deep breath and ascended the steps. I did not know then that once I crossed this threshold, I would never walk out as a whole man again. From the darkness within came a low magnetic laugh, accompanied by the rustle of silk.
Welcome, Mr. Vordenburg. Did you bring the story I asked for, or did you bring your own blood?
Crossing through those heavy doors, I entered a world where time seemed frozen. Thousands of candles flickered in the hall, yet the light strangely failed to penetrate the shadows in the corners. The sickeningly sweet aroma was stronger now, barely masking the stench of iron beneath. The long table was seated with guests, but I quickly realized something was wrong. These people, men and women dressed in the finest Victorian finery, all sat with their heads bowed, motionless. Their skin was pale as wax, their chests still. Had it not been for the occasional dream-like murmur, I would have thought I had stumbled into a wax museum.
They are waiting for the appetizer, Mr. Vordenburg.
Ruthven descended slowly from the spiral staircase. He was more handsome than his portraits, and far more terrifying. His skin was flawless as marble, but his eyes were a dead grey like a stagnant pool with no reflection. He did not breathe.
Please, said.
He pointed to the only empty seat at the end of the table, directly opposite him. I sat stiffly, my hand gripping the letter opener in my sleeve. The missing piece you mentioned in your letter, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. What is it? Ruthven elegantly sliced into a rare steak on his plate. Red juice oozed out.
Do you know why vampire hunters always fail? Because you only know how to destroy the flesh. Steaks, garlic, beheadings, how rude. True immortality lies not in the body, but in memory, in the name. Your grandfather, the old Baron Vordenburg, did something far crueler than killing Carmilla. He not only destroyed her body, but erased her lineage from history, sealing away her true name. This prevents her soul from resting in the river of death, yet also prevents her return. Give me your grandfather's manuscript. It records the incantations used to banish her. It is the key to unlocking her chains.
And if I refuse, I asked. Ruthven smiled. The expression cracked across his perfect face like a wound. He clapped his hands lightly. At the far end of the hall, a black velvet cloth fell away, revealing a massive oil painting. It depicted a girl of exquisite beauty, with cascading black hair and eyes that held an innocent cruelty. It was Carmilla, but the painting was alive. The oils on the canvas were shifting slowly. The girl's chest rose and fell in shallow breaths. Her eyes were fixed dead on me. She was trapped within the fibers of the canvas, screaming without sound.
She is very hungry, Silas. Without a physical form, the hunger is amplified 1,000 times. The guests here, he gestured to the wax-like figures, they have all offered their souls to sustain her, but it is not enough. She needs the sacrifice of a blood relative, or the blood of her enemy's descendant.
So this was the truth of the banquet. Not a seminar, but a ritual sacrifice. Around me, the guests suddenly lifted their heads. Dozens of hollow eyes turned toward me in unison. Their mouths fell open, revealing fangs that did not belong to humans.
Give me the manuscript, or become the ink yourself, and we shall paint the canvas with your blood.
Terror, when pushed to its absolute limit, transforms into a cold rage. I looked at the painting the monster my grandfather had destroyed, and then at Ruthven, this creature playing God with life and death. My grandfather taught me one thing, I said, standing up slowly, reaching into my sleeve. Vampires always overestimate their elegance and underestimate human brutality. I drew the silver-plated letter opener forged from the very stake that killed her, but I did not strike at Ruthven. I knew I could not kill him. I turned and plunged the blade viciously into the oil painting. Ruthven let out a wretched scream that shattered the crystal glasses on the table. The silver blade tore through the canvas, piercing the heart of the painted girl. An inhuman shriek erupted from the picture. Black liquid, thick like oil, spewed from the wound, splashing onto the nearby candles. The black blood was flammable. Flames instantly devoured the portrait, racing along the trail of black blood to the curtains, the carpet, and the dry, papery guests. The hall instantly became hell. The wax-like thralls thrashed and screamed in a sea of fire, turning to ash. I grabbed a bottle of spirits from the table and smashed it into his face. The alcohol and fire mixed, forcing him back momentarily.
This is not over, Vorden. As long as someone remembers fear, we will read.
I didn't look back. Clutching my bleeding shoulder, I crashed through the French windows and fell into the cold, wet London night. That night, the manor burned to the ground. The official report cited a gas leak. No survivors were found. No bodies were recovered. But I know Ruthven escaped. That kind of ancient evil does not die easily. I returned home and looked at the black notebook my grandfather left behind the manuscript Ruthven had so desperately desired. I knew I could not keep it. As long as this forbidden knowledge existed on paper, someone or something would come to claim it. I threw it into the fireplace. I watched the pages curl and blacken. The words of resurrection, spells, and lineage turning to ash. It was the only way. From that day on, I was no longer a hunter. I became a gatekeeper. I moved the remainder of my family's collection to a secret cellar. No windows, only candlelight. I call it the Silent Library. Here, I collect stories of dark creatures, but I no longer seek to destroy them. I record their weaknesses. A warning for those who come after. My shoulder still aches on rainy days, Ruthven's mark. It reminds me that darkness is always prowling just outside the window. I am Silas Vordenburg. Welcome to the Silent Library. We keep it quiet here, because you never know what might be listening in the shadows of the bookshelves.